What's up, guys? This is your boy MW3. And I want to have a little conversation with you guys about childhood games. What games were you playing when you were a kid? Or if you still are a kid, what games are you playing? Who the fuck knows? But this gameplay is a bad gameplay, okay? And this is supposed to be symbolic because back in the day, back in my glory days of gaming, it was all fun and a fun competitive nature. It wasn't like, oh, you have to do this and do that, or suck this dick or not do that or whatever, and there were no standards, and that's what I really miss about old gaming, back in the day. There were no standards. You didn't have to get a 5 KD in a game to be considered a good player. Hell, they weren't even shooters like this back in the day. And I sound very old right now. I'm only 17, guys, but growing up, I played the good shit, the good shit that gets tainted after a while. The games that you just can't replicate anymore, but they keep trying to. Games that come out with sequels now that you guys are growing up with and you think is phenomenal, when actually the older games are way better. So I just wanted to take this time to talk to you guys about some of the games that I enjoyed playing as a kid and how they brought me fun and enjoyment instead of rage and suicidal thoughts. So starting off, very early in my brain, I remember Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis and all that. Back when Sega was, top dog. All I played was Sonic, and then when the Nintendo came out, it was Mario. But Sonic was pretty much the main game of my childhood. Anytime a Sonic game came out, I would get that shit. I had that motherfucker on lockdown. And my favorite Sonic game of all time was Sonic and Knuckles. Oh my god, that game was so good. And I don't really know why. I just really love Knuckles. He was basically the same thing, except he could fucking fly and climb and shit. Dude, it was the most amazing thing ever. It was like, oh my god, this little 8-bit Echidna motherfucker is better than Sonic. I thought Sonic was the greatest thing alive. I thought Sonic was why humans existed. I thought Sonic was the meaning of life. But then here comes fucking Knuckles flying around, climbing walls and shit, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, this is amazing. I was so mesmerized by this game. It took over my life, pretty much. I remember playing with like Sonic and Tails and Sonic 1, 2, all that shit. And I always hated Tails because Tails was a stupid fucking bitch. He had no purpose at all. I hated Tails so much. If I would jump off a cliff or if I died or anything, here comes Tails. Oh no, Sonic did it. He must be right. He's my role model. I will jump off this cliff as well. I will jump into these spikes. I will suck Eggman's dick. If Sonic does it, I do it. Herder. And I got me so pissed. I was like, Tails, what the fuck? Why are you so useless? Why can't you ever do anything? You have your tails. You can float or glide or whatever. Why don't you be useful or anything? And I just did not like Tails. He was a useless bitch. He always talked like a pansy. Oh, I used to watch the show too. I was Sonic fanatic. I used to watch the show, had the toys, everything, literally everything. So in the show, he'd be like, Sonic, oh no, you have to save the world, I'd be like, bitch, why don't you do something? Alright, this is turning into a rant about Tails. I'm sorry. But when Sonic and Knuckles came out, I was like, finally, a companion better than Tails. Finally, a companion that can do something besides waste his life and kill himself whenever Sonic's not around. Finally. So, after that, it came. The Dreamcast. I remember this so vividly. Dreamcast and PS2, they're competitors for my top best systems of all time. But let me tell you something. On that Dreamcast, when fucking Sonic Adventure came out, oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was the fucking heavy rain of its time. That was Uncharted 3 of its time. The graphics on that game were fucking stunning. I remember seeing this and I was like, oh my god, Sonic in high def. Sonic is like right here in my fucking living room. Obviously now I look back at those graphics and I'm like, oh my god, that's horrendous. But back in the day, back in that time period, it was amazing. And what that game excelled at, You get to play as every character. There was so much things you could do in that game. That game was the epitome of my life. That game was so fucking amazing. For the Dreamcast, Sonic Adventure was amazing. I thought nothing can beat it. And then the next generation of consoles roll around. You know, you got your GameCube, PS2, Xbox, all that shit. I didn't really get into Xbox that much, but I was a PS2 fanatic and a huge GameCube fanatic. I would play GameCube nonstop. It went from GameCube then to PS2, and I played Xbox a little bit. It wasn't really that much of my life or anything. But let me tell you something. When Sonic Adventure Battle 2 or Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, whatever the fuck you want to call it, when that game came out, I lost my life. That game took my soul. And I miss that. I miss the fun that would take your life and hold it by the throats. I miss that so fucking much. I miss getting that new Sonic game or any new game and playing it for weeks on end. That would be the highlight of my day. Now I'm scared to turn on my Xbox and fear that I might have a fucking aneurysm while playing Call of Duty. It changed so much, and I just wish that they made games like they used to. You know, if you're a younger kid, you're used to probably the Sonics that come out on Xbox and Wii and stuff. Please don't play those. If you really want a good, rich experience, get a GameCube, buy Sonic Adventure Battle 2, get a few friends over. You will have a blast. I remember the Chow Garden when you used to fight in the machines, the races, the grind races, everything. Oh, it's the nostalgia. Oh my goodness, those were games. Those were video games. That was fun. Now, in this day and age, it's all about, oh, you have to be good at this, or, oh, you can't do that, then you're a failboat supreme. I just really miss the good old honest days when I'd have a few friends over and we would play like a WrestleMania game or a Sonic game or anything like that, and we would just have so much fun. And Sonic is not the only game that took part of my childhood. Now, I used to play like all the Dragon Ball Z games, wrestling games, everything. I used to play almost every game. I remember this game that nobody knows about this game. I'm surprised. But if you guys know about this game called Beautiful Joe, that game was amazing. I think there was 2 of them that came out. I had both of them. And what it was basically this dude in a red tight suit or whatever. He could like freeze time and shit. It was an amazing game. It was for the GameCube. Just all those single player games, that's what it is. Now all the single player games are all serious. You know, you don't have that rich fun anymore. You don't really have that cartoony fun. It's just like everything's so serious. And even great games like Skyrim and games like that take themselves seriously. Now, those games are important to have. Those games are really good. And honestly, those are probably why the game industry is doing so well right now. I know that Call of Duty has a big part of it and stuff, but I'm talking for just fun and rich single-player experiences. That's these serious ones are all that's holding up. You know, Heavy Rain, Uncharted, stuff like that. But I really think that they should start making games like they used to. You know, don't be afraid to go back in the day and make games like they used to be, how games were so fun. Now, it's just always taken seriously. You try to cater to every bad player. I remember I'd be stuck for hours on a Sonic jump, but it was fun. And that's the difference now. Now, they just want to make things too easy for everyone, and I don't like it. So, yeah, guys, the gameplay is pretty much over now. Leave a comment down below. What games did you play as a kid? Don't forget to like. Peace.